Hey guys, it's Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals. I've gotten several requests for how to sing like Corey Taylor. Now, don't expect me to sing and sound just like Corey Taylor, because I'll tell you what, it is pretty tough. Corey Taylor is very versatile and he's got extremely good technique as far as diaphragmatical support. Try these techniques and see if it helps. So, without further ado, let's get to it. What we're going to do here is what I like to do with all vocal tracks is see if I can find an isolated vocal track, because that way you don't get all of the instruments tied in. And when you get the instruments in the track, sometimes you can hear guitar or squeals or something, or the distortion, and you're hearing everything go on. It can kind of fool you into hearing different things, different sonic things. So it does help if you can find an isolated vocal track. And I found some really good isolated vocal tracks in the studio and some good isolated vocal tracks live. So what we're going to do is listen to those, and I'm going to just comment a little bit on the technique and what he's using in these styles. So you can have a play around with it and see if it works for you. Hopefully it does. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to give you the single most key factor that plays a big part in Corey Taylor's sound, how he gets that. But you can hear from his diaphragm support, even when he speaks, like in interviews, he's got a really good diaphragmatical support. We're going to start with a studio track from my favorite track, Duality. Song, you can hear just that. It's that single vocal that I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops the ache, 'cause it's made of all the things I have to. You can, and right there, that other voice comes in. To take Jesus, it never ends. Okay, so you can hear there's another voice coming in there, but I want to cut to the low speak part.
I've wished for this, I've bitched at that, I've left behind this little fact, you cannot kill what you did not create.
So he's got a really low, subdued voice in there, and he just has a good power, good approach to the you cannot kill what you did not create. So, and then he's got a higher voice.
I've got to say what I've got to say, and then I swear I'll go away.
That doubling of that, I've got to say what I've got to say, and then I swear I'll go away. I've got to say what I've got to say, and then I swear I'll go away. It just adds that sort of depth to the whole bit of the song. But if you're just listening to the song as it is, you're not going to hear that. Okay, so this next part here is where Corey's voice has that distinct scream that is just that distorted scream. It's just that blood-curdling, distorted,
I'm not gonna make it!
I'm not gonna make it! Now that's me singing that quietly. He's pushing just enough air through there, and I don't think he can scream night after night after night like that unless he's got a really good technique. You can hear when his voice gets tired, but I do think he knows how to control that to where he can maintain and keep from losing his voice. If I control the air coming through, my voice will sound a bit more like, I'm not gonna make it! So it's not as distorted as Corey's voice.
I'm not gonna make it!
It's very controlled in terms of like it's not wild. It's not just, he's keeping it right on key, and he's got just enough distortion. It's not wavering. And it's really hard to do. So this is like quite an advanced, and I'm gonna give an attempt to. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. So you hear the difference between that and I'm not gonna make it. There's a little bit of difference. The second version, I'm not pushing as much air through, but the first version, I think, has that little bit more crackly distortion is how you might describe that. What's rattling is just up at the back of my throat, like right up at the back at the top of my throat. And that is where I can really feel the kind of the rattling, the bit of rawness. You don't want to feel any rawness in your larynx, but you can feel a little bit of that rattling up at the back in your false chords. And for me, that's an area of the false chord I don't normally use. But then that's why for me this is very challenging to do this. So I love this, trying to, challenge myself with new things. Okay, so in this next part, it's in the chorus. You can hear that signature distortion where he's pushing air in there, and it's that. But Corey's just really screaming it and giving it loads. Try to listen for the breath between the lines. So he's like, between my eyes, and you can hear him breathe in. That shows you that he's like taking a good amount of breath in before he really pushes through that. And if you listen to this part, you can hear the doubling, and you can even hear it tripling. He's got even a higher part at the very end. I'll point that out.
I push my fingers until my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops the ache. But it's made of all the things I have to take. Jesus, it never ends. It works its way inside. If the pain goes on, I'm not gonna make it.
I'm not gonna make it! You can just go from that really subdued, clean voice to a quite loud, screamy voice in just a flick of the switch, which is just amazing. Like that, he has that versatility. So this next part, listen to the shouting that he does, the screaming, and his breath on this low part there. He's like really getting that passion up in there.
All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane.
There you can hear that. All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane. So this next part is where he's really kind of, all I've got is insane. Listen to he's really low and subdued, and just this, this is where it brings in the emotion of a song. Corey can just bring in the feeling, and that's another thing that makes Slipknot just so powerful of a band. It's just that, listen.
All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane. All I've got is insane.
So I also wanted to listen to a studio track before I forget, because there's a technique that I like to use, which is to not push very much breath through, which that will save your chords because you're not drying them out as much. But you can hear in this track where you can hear the sound pressure. What I mean by sound pressure is the air coming out of Corey's voice when he's like really pushing into this. So he's not holding back at all. No, sir. No, ma'am. He's given it 150,000% the whole way through the song. So let's listen.
Claustrophobic. claustrophobic.
If I was to sing that without pushing air, it'd be like claustrophobic. But he's claustrophobic. You hear the difference between the two? I'm really pushing out air. Now, not a huge amount of air, but enough to get that rattly distortion up at the top of the back of my throat. For me, it's an uncomfortable position. I don't do a lot of Slipknot songs, but you can develop that style to do that if you want to do that. So, like, that's where I would put that kind of rattling for that. In this next part, I want to highlight how Corey uses that low, subdued voice a lot. And he can switch from just low, like first gear, all the way up to sixth gear, revving like 6,000 RPMs, just like that. And that's just what makes him just amazing, is he does it live as well. You'll see in those tracks coming up soon.
Fray the strings, throw the shapes, hold your breath.
Listen! I am a world before I am a man. I was...
You hear how he goes that, hold your breath. Listen! It's just like, and he has to have, like live, he has to have really decent mic control and a limiter, which I'm going to have to throw on this recording here as well. Okay, so in this next studio track, Dead Memories, I want to just point out how he can have really clean vocals as well. And there's a nice high harmony as well. So Corey has really good range, and he can go clean to that incredibly dirty, distorted, shouting voice just so quickly. And he doesn't miss a beat, and he does it live, and it's just like, it's crazy. Here we go. Anyway, so listen to the clean vocals that he's doing, and also listen to the breath between the lines. You can hear him taking a good amount of breath for that good breath support that Corey Taylor has.
And we won't be born. Dead memories in my heart.
So you hear that breath between, and he's taking that breath right before the line pretty much, so he starts off with good breath support. Dead memories in my heart. Dead memories in my heart. So in this next part on Dead Memories, you can hear that higher harmony that he has.
With dead memories in my heart.
He can really do clean vocals and hellishly dirty vocals. So amazing versatility. Need I say it again? Okay, so this is Left Behind live, and I just want to illustrate how he can go from that dirty to clean sound live as well. Just that versatility to be able to switch is really just a testament to the fact that if he didn't have good technique when he was screaming, he wouldn't be able to get a good, clean, closed chord sound. That's how you know that he's not destroying his voice when he's screaming. He just got really, really good technique that just sounds like he's gargling razor blades. So let's get to that.
Oh no! This is that anticipated time. Find me writing glass and slowly so to life. You're my fragile pieces made to make you cry. I see this and what I've done to calcify.
You can hear how he's just switching from dirty to clean back and forth, which is just amazing to be able to do that and get that good clean sound at the same time, be able to switch back and forth between dirty. And it just gives it that it's the dynamics that he has when he sings like that in a song, or just, it's fantastic. It just adds so much to a song. If you can get these different styles worked into your own voice, and I don't mean sound just like Corey Taylor, in dynamics, but if you understand how to work dynamics, that will only help you when you develop your own sound. You can do, kind of lower tones for the kind of subdued parts of a song and then get to the screaming parts. So that's where I believe it helps to learn all these different techniques. So in this next part, he switches from clean straight over to dirty. I say dirty, it was like distorted, okay? So he switches like right over the...
You all got left behind. We let it all slip away.
We all got left behind. We let it all slip away. Switching back and forth between that, it takes a lot of practice to get to that. So that's why I say it's an advanced technique. And it's also, you really have to have that control to be able to do that. And again, I'm going to get to the secret of how to sing like Corey at the end of the video. That's coming up very shortly. But you can hear how he talks to the crowd.
So right now, we're gonna give you a very special fucking song.
He's got very good enunciation, and he's got really good power in his voice. And what he's doing is, if you hear how I am starting off the line like this, that is what I'm talking about. It's like closed off throat, like you're kind of almost like you're jumping underwater like this, but you're pushing the air out. So if I was to just talk like this, like really, real breathy, some people talk like this. But if I was to talk like this, if you listen to Corey in an interview or something like that, you can hear how he naturally talks like that. So listen to him talk to the crowd live on Wait and Bleed.
But before we go, you motherfuckers want to help me sing a fucking song? You want to help me sing a fucking song or not, fuckers? Are you with me?
So that just demonstrates there how Corey can go from that just kind of clean speaking voice to someone who sounds like he's like a demon. He's going to grow horns out of his head. Yeah, are you with me? He just, that emotion coming to that anger. It's just like, that's amazing to be able to do that and transition that distortion in that kind of fry sound. And he is using a vocal fry, but he's slowly transitioning it in there like that. So just bringing that in like, are you with me? It's not easy to do. It takes a little bit of practice. And then the next part in Wait and Bleed, I want to just show you the difference of how when he sings it live, he's got a little bit more distortion on than when he sings it on the studio track. And that could be just down to because of the energy live. When you're singing live, there's a bit more energy involved.
I felt the air rise up in me, here down and cloud that's done up lit. I wander out where you can't see, inside my shell I wait and bleed. I felt the air rise up in me, here down and cloud that's done up lit. I wander out where you can't see, inside my shell I wait and bleed. Get your fucking hands in the fucking air!
The difference between the two, the live version, he's got a bit more gritty voice. I felt the air rise up in me. Versus the studio track, I felt the air rise up in me. I'm not really sure why he didn't do the recording a bit more distorted, but I mean, he is singing. That is a technically a clean part of the song. I felt the air rise up in me. So just when he's singing it live, he's probably just used to already having distortion, either that or it's just being on the road for a while. and his clean voice is maybe a little bit more distorted, maybe a little bit more worn out to where he's like not able to get as tight a chord closure, so he can't really get as clean as the recording. Or it could be, I'm not really sure when that live one was done, but it could be years later, and that could be kind of contributing to that. But let's get down to the single thing that you really have to be conscious of is pushing from your abdomen, all these muscles in here, okay? So in your core muscles, when you're singing like Corey Taylor. So the trick for me, because this, I have to think about this consciously in singing in general, because it's not completely natural for me. But when I'm singing rock, I have to really be conscious of tightening my core. I don't tighten my core when I speak or sing naturally. But when I'm singing rock, I really have to be conscious of pushing from that area right here in the core. And it's just like, if you could just imagine, just like right now, just kind of tighten your whole core area, almost like you're doing a sit-up or like a leg lift or something like that. And then sing one of those lines. I felt the air rise up in me. What you should feel is just less tension, if any, on your vocal cords. So if you're feeling tension kind of in this area in your vocal cords, shift to tensing your core region when you're singing, because what that does is, again, let me just kind of go into the science of it, is that the diaphragm is a muscle that contracts unconsciously. So what happens is when you breathe in, your diaphragm contracts. Okay, so that's when like its muscle is activated, it flattens. And what that does is pulls the air in your lungs, but then the outflow of the air, what's pushing, what gets that compression sound, that I felt the air rise up in me, kneel down and clear the stone of leaves. What helps you to be able to push out like that and get that compression, that good rock sound. So that's my single tip. If you want to learn how to sing like Corey Taylor, you have to make sure that you're pushing from your core. Okay, that will save your voice. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything, but it will help you to sound like Corey Taylor if you're pushing from your abdomen. Focus on the dynamics. So you need to be able to work the mic. You need to be able to get up close and, you know, where you say, I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that slowly stops the ache. And then also the dynamics and the being able to switch from clean to I'm not gonna make it to dirty, to be able to clean, to shift from clean to dirty and back to clean very quickly. So practice those transitions, but always keep your core tightened and you'll risk your voice less, okay? You will still get like maybe a bit of soreness in your, not in your chords. Hopefully you don't feel anything. You shouldn't feel anything in your chords down here, in your larynx and your vocal cords. What you might feel is maybe a bit from the fry. You might feel at the back of the top of your throat. You'll probably feel like some rawness and it might be a bit red. Afterwards, after you do that, after you practice a bit, don't practice too much. If you start to feel like it kind of is a bit raw, it's a bit sore, take a break. Don't sing anymore for the day. Maybe wind down a little bit with some kind of quiet fry and gargle with some salt water. I'll post a link to a video of how to do that in case you don't know. It's really simple, but gargle with some salt water. Give it a break, go back to it, practice. It's all about the core. It's all about the core, guys. Really, keep that core tightened, and you'll be screaming like Corey Taylor! Okay. So I hope this video helped. If it did, please hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can see the next one that comes out. I'm working on doing, coming up, I've got some Ollie Sykes will be coming up. M Shadows. And I want to do some stuff, maybe some Iron Maiden, you know, Bruce Dickinson. I love Bruce Dickinson. And, you know, whoever else. Maybe post a comment down below if you want to hear anybody, if you have any particular requests. And until then, rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate you guys. Take care. Thank you.